All right, welcome to another edition of the Cut Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Randy Zellea from backsportspage.com. Backsportspage this is the mechanism that powers the show. This week on the show, we have three upcoming prospects from Ring of Honor's dojo. We have Primal Fear, Gabriel, Adrian Soriano, and the Screed, Matthew Omen, all join me on the show today to discuss their career. Real quick, we have some great guests coming up in the upcoming weeks, so you don't want to miss out. Keep following our social media platforms to see who is telling their story next on the Cut Pro Wrestling Podcast. You don't want to hear me keep rambling on. Right now, let's go to Primal Fear. All right, back here on the Cut Pro Wrestling Podcast, special interview time. And listen, I take great pride in being able to have the young talent of professional wrestling on the show. But now I get 2 out of the 3 trifecta. Here we are. We have Gabe, we have Adrian with us. Gabe Adler. And Gabe, I'm going to start with you. I'm looking at the list, and Adrian as well. You guys, I'm looking at your resume that you guys sent over to me, and of the guys who you looked up to, and a little bit about you guys. Dude, you guys, I'm blown away. Adrian, real quick, I'll start with you on top. You broke into the business in 2015. You've been training for 6 years. You're trained by Damian Priest, Jonathan Grissom, and Will Ferrara. Talk to me about the training process you went through. How was it? Was it a little nerve-wracking? Talk to me what you remember about that time frame.
I don't even know where to start. 'Cause, just mentioning those three names, it's just a wealth of knowledge, especially with Damian Priest, who I spent the most time with at the Monster Factory. I think about 4 years, maybe with Priest, right? Gabriel?
Yeah, about 4 years till he, whenever he got signed over to NXT, obviously he stopped coming around, but about 4 years.
Yeah, and with Priest, with him, it was always about making things bigger than life, because he was such a big personality, and that's what he was trying to get everyone to portray when it came to the wrestling. And QT Marshall was there too, so QT had a hand in helping us with the training. But yeah, taking that, and then once we got to the ROH dojo, Gresham and Will Ferrara, they just added on top of that. So now we're taking the personas, and now you're just working on fundamentals, make sure your footwork's good, your technique's good, and just combining everything to, hoping to get a spot on that TV.
Well, you mentioned the ROH training. What did they give you the opportunity to sort of train what it was like to have the hard cam, and have to give you the ability to know what, not just regular wrestling where you can have a 5-star match and where it's all about the skill and ability, but also the presentation, the production side of television.
Right. Yeah. Even when we were at the factory originally, we were taught how to work in front of a hard cam, because we were having shows periodically, maybe once or twice a month there. So yeah, that needs to be taught from the beginning, man, because you never know when that opportunity is going to come, and you got to be ready for it.
Yeah, what's that? The biggest rule in wrestling is sometimes it's not what you can do in the ring. It's the way how the promoter presents you. I'm going to use an example because we had him on the show, and I asked him before we got done with him if I can use him as an example, and he always said fine. But you look at a guy like Anthony Corelli, who played Santino Marella on WWE. Guy's a hell of a talent in the ring, but he was more of a comedy act, and now he wants to try, because he can't wrestle anymore, go into broadcasting. But if he ever goes to broadcasting, it's because he was presented as Santino Marella as a comedy act. That's how he's always going to be looked at. He's never going to be looked at as Anthony. He'll be looked at as Santino.
Right. And I think and with all of that, him being able to do all that, he's able to give that back to the newcomers, help bring that out of the guys so that they can try and portray whatever it is that they're trying to portray in the ring or on TV or whatever.
And Adrian, my last question before I go over to Gabe. You really looked up to Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, and Shawn Michaels as guys that you told me that you sort of looked up to and sort of maybe modeled your style about. What is it about those three guys for you that sort of drew you into doing this?
And when you say them three names, man, like they're all showmen. They were all showmen. Eddie Guerrero, Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, all huge personalities, and they had the wrestling to back it up, and that's what I'm trying to bring.
And Gabe, as we go over to you, and he promised me he was going to try not to hate me by the time the interview was over. I guess I already have one strike against me because I'm a New York Giants guy.
Sure.
Gabe, for your story, you guys obviously are a unit. Matt's not on right now, but you guys are a unit. And for you, you've same thing with Damian, Jonathan, and Will, but yours was the Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H. The stalwarts of the, I guess, the Attitude Era. What was it like? What for you? Talk about your training and what those guys meant to you, looking up to them.
Man, I mean, I feel like them three, like that's it. Like if you ask me what is wrestling, I feel like the three of them each have a little bit of it. Undertaker had the look, he could wrestle, he was such a character. Shawn Michaels had the charisma, probably the best wrestler in the world. And I mean, man, Triple H, that dude he knew how to make people hate him, man. People hated him. When I was a kid, I mean, like during Evolution and right before, people just hated him. And that's like, I just want to be able to get that. I want people to hate me the way that they hated him.
Do you think that's a little bit of a lost art of being able to not get what they call X-Pac heat, but get like that real heat? Like Flair was also the king of this too.
Yeah.
But I always feel, and then this is the wrestling psychology, the way I look at things. Sometimes like you take a Steve Austin, for example, where Steve Austin was such a hot heel, where he was so hot, where and The Rock did the same thing, where his heat became babyface level.
Yeah.
Where the crowd ends up turning him and sort of ruins it. Do you think there's a lot of that in wrestling right now?
I feel like the thing in wrestling right now is it's such a tightrope act because you need to be cool, to get booked on shows and to get opportunities. You do need to be cool and you need to do cool moves. So it's like there's a balance of doing cool things while still being a heel. And it's hard. It's very hard. That's why, like you said, not a lot of people get genuine heat anymore.
Yeah. It's such a hard thing, and I think that's what made Rock so great was his Rock was able to do it so easily, and Hunter's able to do it so well.
Yeah.
So can you talk to me on how you three got together? Was it a sort of a strength in number type of thing, or what was it like for you guys?
Well, I can tell the second half of the story because I joined later on into the group.
Yeah, me and Matthew finally just joined us.
What's up, Matt? How are you, buddy?
How you doing? Sorry about that. I don't know. I was sitting in the waiting room forever. I had no idea what happened.
Yeah, I kept on clicking admit, but I'm sorry. But listen, you're here now. We appreciate it, and we're just sort of shooting the breeze over here talking wrestling.
Yeah, we're talking about how we kind of started the whole trio, but how it began with just me and you at first. I was going to tell him, me and Matt, we started training at the same time. We met in high school and we started training at the exact time, like 2015, right, Matt?
Oh yeah, like towards the end or middle of 2015, like July-ish.
Yeah, and then once they started using us for matches, they kind of put us in a tag team like right from the jump, just like, oh, you guys kind of look alike, you're friends, you're just going to be a tag team. A few matches, then we also had a third guy with us who was our original third member of Primal Fear. Gabriel wasn't in it yet.
Yeah, because there was going to be 4 of us.
And then the third guy, he stopped wrestling because he had I think he had a concussion or whatever. So he just backed out, and there was just a 2-man. And then that's when Punisher, Damian Priest, threw the idea of having Gabriel join us, and kind of it worked.
Yeah.
And who came up with the name Primal Fear?
Well, originally when we were first put together, we had no idea what we were trying to name ourselves. I remember the day of the show, they were like, "You guys need a name tonight," and we were sitting in the back for hours trying to come up with something. And at the time, Blue Meanie was in the locker room, and he threw the name Primal Hate out. And we're like, "Oh, that's not bad." So it was Primal Hate for like a month, and then it became Primal Fear.
Yeah, so it didn't flow as well as Primal Fear. So went Primal Fear.
Matt, I was talking with both Gabe and Adrian about some of the people they looked up to in the business. Who sort of modeled, and who did you shape your career after? Who did you look up to when you were breaking into the business?
Definitely looked like I liked a lot of the darker characters. So I liked Kane, Undertaker, and like Sting. I also liked some of the more charismatic characters, Stone Cold, The Rock, Shawn Michaels. So I kind of see myself as like a mixture of like a charismatic evil person in a sense of that way. I guess that's what I kind of aim for.
So for you guys, when you guys are booked together and you guys travel together, what because you don't see a lot of on the indie scene as much anymore, sort of like the trio, the group. You don't really have that. That's a lot of individual talent. How has it been for you guys to sort of have that camaraderie with each other and be able to be together and sort of watch each other's backs in that sense? And and because I think I always find it easier to sell something as a package than in an individual, because individuals you can always get a lot of the same things, but a package you have more to work with in that sense.
Yeah, for sure. On our end, it's great. The hard part is it's hard for us to get booked because there's not many trios around, So normally we go to these shows and it's like, oh, 2 of you guys tag, 1 be a manager, or 2 of you guys have a tag, 1 have a singles match. So like the hardest part for us is finding other 6-mans to go up against.
I was talking with a couple different independent wrestlers earlier in the week, and a lot of the guys seem to be like homegrown for that small little town, the little market. You guys were involved with Ring of Honor, Adrian, from what Adrian was telling me too. Like you guys were over there working with Damien, and do you guys feel it's that you guys have a little bit more of an advantage of sort of booking power because you went through some of the ROH training facility and you guys had some of that on your resume? Do you guys find that you have that in your sort of like, I hate to say in your back pocket, but have that there, like it's more helpful to you guys?
I think it gives with us kind of a level of prestige, and like respect that, once you drop, oh, I was trained by Damian Priest or Jonathan Gresham, people's ears perk up a little bit, because when you're out on the indies, man, you never really know who you're getting in the ring with, you don't know who these people are trained by, where they come from. People might tell you they've been working for 20 years, but it's been 20 years of nothing, Yeah. So people pay attention a little more. It gives you a little credibility, I guess would be the good word.
That was the exact word that I was looking for. It gives you a little bit more credibility because you guys went through the system with Ring of Honor. And speaking of that, we had, it's sort of funny you said that. We haven't had Jonathan on the show yet, but we had Tracy Williams. We just had Rhett Titus on with us as our season finale.
Okay.
Are you guys keeping up and still in contact with the people over at Ring of Honor?
Oh yeah, I mean we're at their tapings every month. We just got back a week ago from their most recent taping, so we're around them. We talk to them. We have our little dojo class. We're obviously closer with than some of the other roster guys, but yeah, we're in contact with them.
That would be really cool to all of a sudden see PCO in the middle of the ring and see you three start jumping him and see to take out the man monster out. That'd be pretty cool.
Might be the only way, man.
Yeah. That's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude, but you know
That's why
what?
we're a trio, man, because we're compared to like wrestlers, the 6'4", 6'3". I think Gabe, what are you like? You're not even 6 foot, right?
I'm like right there.
He's like right
Like
there.
I'm
That's why
6'1".
that's why it takes the three of us, man. Beat them in numbers.
Yeah.
Well,
Numbers always win.
But that's the thing, though, right? Because strength in numbers, and you guys are able to come in as a unit. And I think that's so unique, and it's so still different. Like you look at the great units they've had in wrestling, like Nexus. Remember when Nexus came in? It came in as a big group, made an impact. There's always the what was the NXT group that was big for a very long time?
Sanity.
Yeah, no, not Sanity. The
Undisputed
Shield.
Era?
We get the Shield a lot.
we got the Shield, but the one with Adam Cole and
Undisputed Era.
the Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
That was the one I was just thinking of. That's where I'm looking at you guys and I'm seeing the comparison with, because you guys can just make that. You guys can make that impact, and I think that's so unique. So for you guys too, you guys do. You guys are on social media, and you guys also have some merch, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, what we do on this show is I'll usually end up I get some merch for myself, because I always like to support you guys, because I totally understand that you guys, unlike where WWE, they pay guys like 5 cents per shirt or something like that. It's a part of your income,
What?
and I
Is it
see,
really?
yeah, you never heard that story?
No.
Oh my
that's
God.
crazy.
It's like
I mean, they
it's like,
probably make good paychecks though, so I guess that's okay,
Yeah,
right?
and they make up for it on that.
I was going to say, if you're John Cena, who's selling 30
Yeah,
million
millions,
shirts a
yeah,
year,
yeah,
you're
good.
doing okay. Like
Yeah, true.
if you're Zack Ryder, who's only selling like 5 shirts a month, it's a little different. But like we always like to support you guys, so what I do is I always buy like a shirt or two, and then what I also buy 1 or 2 and give off on the air as a thank you. So you know what I mean for
Okay.
watching. So well, let's plug where all your merch is right now.
We have a pro wrestling tee store, so it's prowrestlingtees.com/true primal fear.
And social media. Now, for the social media, do you guys do your individual, or do you guys have a team one as well?
We have a team Facebook page, but individual Twitter and Instagram.
Everything else.
Matt, I was talking with Gabe for a few minutes. He's an Eagles fan. I'm a Giants guy. Where do you stand in this whole thing?
I'm from New York. I'm also a Giants guy.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, well done.
I gotta ask, Daniel Jones, quarterback of the future, or is this it for him this year?
I have no idea what's going on right now. I've been so out of the loop with football. I haven't watched football completely like the last 10 years. I've been so out of the loop.
You are lucky.
Danny Dimes.
Listen. As a Giant fan, he's very lucky that he has not watched the team in the last 10 years.
I saw what was happening. I was like, oh, no way. Yeah, I couldn't.
Hey, you gotta let him know when to get back into it.
Yeah, let me know, because you guys can come up. I right now I think Gabe and I are gonna have to see if we can get you guys together and do Giants Eagles this year.
Oh,
Let's
go.
I'll always go to a game though. I always go to a game.
Yeah, we can definitely work that out. 1 or 2 more wrestling questions. If you wanted to tell fans who have not seen or heard from your work at all, what do you recommend to watch so they can get a good idea about who True Primal Fear is?
I'll say if we're telling them what to watch, I'll say go to YouTube, man. Go to Ring of Honor's YouTube page, and there we have like probably 4 or 5 matches on their page. We're on a lot of their week by weeks. We've had our Ring of Honor debut on week by week was against Mexi Squad, the trio of Bandito, Flamita, Ray Horace. I think the following week by week we went up against some of the dojo students there, and Will Ferrer, the coach. That was a fun match.
Our best performances right
I think our strongest match, though, man's got to be for the 6-man titles. I mean, if you're trying to tell someone one match, we had Shane Taylor promotion for the 6-man titles on. Man, I wish I knew the TV episode, but I think that's our strongest showing, man. We came out.
Just go to ringofhonor.com, and all their TV episodes are free. Anyone can watch for free. Episode 504
There you go.
There was 3 matches on that episode. We were the middle match, Primal Fear versus Shane Taylor Promotions for the Ring of Honor World 6-man titles.
And last question: if you guys were having a triple threat, who's going over?
Oh,
Mm.
uh-oh.
Gabe, I think this is the part where you don't like him, right?
This is
What?
the part where he
Yeah,
hates me now.
I didn't like that question. I'm not a good. My singles career is. I don't got a good record, so I'm out. I'm like 1-18 in singles matches.
If it's the baby face, it's Manny. If it's heel, it's me.
It's the beard.
and,
Because of the beard.
and I guess I'm the special guest referee on that one. I guess
I'm down for that.
Yeah,
I'm down for that.
cool.
I get double choke slam through the table and I'm out.
Yep.
That's my spot.
First 3 minutes of the match, right?
Yeah.
It's over.
That's
Cool.
what I'm there for, the car crash.
And then after the match, we settle our differences, and then we turn on the guy who made all this happen.
Yep.
Yeah. We turn the
We
referee.
turn on the ref.
Oh,
Turn on the ref.
oh, me. Oh, crap. Okay. So if we were talking before too about how this is sort of like a good time for wrestling, and where do you guys see yourself in about 3 or 4 years?
We get this question a lot. I don't like looking long term, I like setting short term goals. And I know for me, at least personally right now, the only goal I have in mind is the Ring of Honor World 6-man tag titles. It's the
100%.
only thing I'm focused on. Whatever happens after that happens, but right now, where we're at right now, that's where we're trying to get.
You never know. Like a couple years ago, the landscape was so different. Next year, the landscape can change completely. So for right now, we just have one goal in mind, and that's topping where we're at right now in our division.
Yep.
And-
Give us some gold.
And like, man, we've only been together for five years as a trio, and like each year that we've been together, each year has gotten better. We've been getting better opportunities each year, and this year has been the biggest so far for us. And man, we're just looking to keep it going and hoping next year it's even bigger. Just got to be ready
And
for
in
whatever
Mexico.
comes our way. Mexico,
And in
Japan,
Mexico.
wherever the 6-man titles are, that's where we're trying to go.
I want them all.
Next.
And my last question for you guys is: did you guys feel as performers the pandemic helped you guys?
So the funny thing about that, I was actually just telling someone, is that every match we've had for Ring of Honor so far has been with no fans and no crowd. So like we still like that now that fans are back and stuff, that's still going to be a whole new obstacle for us. We haven't really done that yet. It's crazy that it's like, we've wrestled for this major promotion, but we've done it with no fans. So that's something new that I'm really looking forward to.
I guess the big thing with that is just to see how the fans will respond and react to our match, But I guess it all depends on what we're trying to invoke from the crowd, Whether we're trying to get them to cheer us, boo us, that's all on us.
Well, guys, listen, I appreciate you guys giving me some time today. Just an absolute honor, Matt. I'm sorry we had the little problem getting in there, but I'm glad you made it. Thank you so much. And guys, check them out on Ring of Honor. Look out for the Trio Championship there. It's definitely coming their way. We'll be back on the cut in just one moment. All right, that was Primal Fear here on the Cut Pro Wrestling Podcast. Hey, guys, thanks for all your support here on the show. Keep following us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the Cut Pro Wrestling Podcast, Cut Wrestling BSB, Instagram, and Twitter. We have a link tree that gives you the shows and all of our platforms. Hey, guess what? We're available on Google, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Guess what? We're everywhere. We're growing. We've had a great list of guests. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Give us a review. Give us as much as you can. We appreciate the love. Thank you so very much. And we're going to see you next week. Stay tuned to our social media platforms for next week's guest, which we'll be announcing probably in a couple days. So you're going to love it, I promise. For that being said, I'm Randy Zellea from the Cut Pro Wrestling Podcast and BackSportsPage.com, and we will see you next week.